Hi students, let's talk about the types of feasibility analysis. This is a very important topic in the subject entrepreneurship and startup management. First, let us see what is feasibility analysis. So, feasibility analysis is finding out the real potential of your projects. So, through feasibility analysis, you can identify what is the risk in your project, potential risk in your project. You can find out whether your project is financially viable, and you can also find out whether there is a market demand for your product. Feasibility analysis examines various factors like how much will be the total cost of implementing your project, or how much time it will take, and what are the resources required to implement your project. If the project is too costly and if it takes up too much of time to be implemented, then the project will not be accepted. So the different types of feasibility analysis is technical feasibility, financial feasibility, market feasibility, economic feasibility, and operational feasibility. Of all these different types of feasibility analysis, financial feasibility is the most important one. That is the feasibility which checks whether your project does have the funds or does have the access to funds to be implemented successfully. If the project is not financially feasible, it will not be accepted. Even if it is technically feasible, it has market feasibility, it has economic feasibility, and also if it has operational feasibility. Operational feasibility is the most challenging feasibility analysis to do. That is to find out whether your organization has the capability to implement the project. First, let us see technical feasibility. Technical feasibility means you find out, you analyze your project to see what kind of technology you are applying, what is the transportation, labor, raw materials you are using to implement your project. This is good for long term planning and for troubleshooting. So technical feasibility will tell you what kind of technology the project requires and what kind of technology your firm currently has. So you can come to know whether you need to upgrade your technology. Your present technology is outdated, so you need to upgrade your technology, or whether you need to add any technical resource. Many factors are considered in technical feasibility. Material inputs like what is the raw materials required, what type of machinery you will use, what is the type of processes you will implement, what kind of transportation you will use, what will be the cost of the transportation, availability of the materials, what kind of manufacturing process are you going to apply in your project, what is the technology you are going to apply there, what is your product mix. Product mix means for different groups of customers you will be developing different types of product. So product mix, you will consider the different qualities of product, the different sizes of products, to find out whether your project is technically feasible. You will also consider your plant capacity, that is, how much will be your volume of production, and you will also consider the location and site factors, like is there easy availability of raw materials in the location, is it close to the market, supporting industries are nearby, do you have skilled labor available nearby, Is it accessible to infrastructural facilities like roads are there, water connection is there, communication lines are there, electric supply is there, lighting systems are there. So site factors also you have to consider. What kind of land it is it a flat land or is it a hilly area? What is the cost of the land? Groundwater availability is there, garbage disposal facilities there, and the type of machinery, what type of machinery you are selecting to do your production process. It should be the best quality machinery so that you have less number of breakdowns. So all this is the site and location factors. Then you have to prepare and develop the site, like set up buildings like factory buildings, administrative buildings, staff welfare buildings, outdoor lighting, landscaping, supply of electric power, communication lines, water supply, treatment of effluents, that is ETP. It is mandatory in India that every plant should have STP, that is sewage treatment plant. So security posts are there, fencing is there, you have a project layout chart, work scheduling has been done, scale of operations has been done. So all this is checked in technical feasibility. Then we move on to market feasibility. Market feasibility is finding out whether a particular market is supporting to your project. So you will collect a lot of information about your targeted customers, about the suppliers, about the distribution channels, who are the major players in the market. So the elements in market feasibility, first you will consider the demand for your product. Then you will consider whether your manufacturing plant has the capacity to produce to the maximum, and distribution channels you will consider, packing methods you will consider, distribution costs you will consider. There are a lot of government policies which have become strict regarding packing materials and methods. They want companies to reduce the usage of plastic and use more eco-friendly materials. Then you consider the prices in the market, taxes, existing price trends. All this is considered in market feasibility. So the main factor is estimating your demand for the product. So you use various statistical tools for that. Then you estimate the total project cost. Then you analyze your competitors, who are the indirect competitors and who are the direct competitors. Do SWOT analysis on them, find out their strength, weakness, strategies. Then you analyze the economic trends. What is the consumption level, expenditure level of your targeted customers? What is their per capita income, etc. Then you consider the price structure in the market, discount trends in the market, etc. Then, in financial feasibility, you find out whether your organization has the ability to fund the project. Where are the sources of funds which the organization is going to use? How much revenue your project is going to generate? What will be the operating cost, what will be the capital cost. All this you will come to find out when you analyze the financial feasibility of your project. So even if your project has technical feasibility and market feasibility, if financially it is not feasible, it will not be accepted. So you look at the quantitative financial statements to see what will be the financial performance of the company. You consider what will be the initial capital required, what is the total cost, what is the cash flows of the project, that is inward cash flow and outward cash flow. You will analyze the ROI, break even volume, price analysis you will do. So you will make assumptions about how much will be the payment period for purchases and expenses, what will be the period of sales, what will be the production cost, what will be the selling, administrative, and financial expenses, and you will also determine what will be the sources of your funds from where you will get the long term loans, shares, debentures, trade credit, bank loans, etc. So, all these factors will be considered in financial feasibility to determine whether your project is financially feasible. Then you consider environment feasibility. This is mainly to study whether your project has an impact on the environment. Most of the business projects, they do impact the environment in a harmful way. They cause various types of pollution. So you need to do environment feasibility to see whether your project is cleared, whether you need to relocate it, whether you need to do some corrections. If you are locating your plant in the middle of the city and you find out when you do environment feasibility that you are going to cause a lot of pollution, then you will have to relocate to the outskirts of the city. So you identify first what is the legal environment in your area, town, region, country. What are the approvals you need to take from regional agencies and central government agencies? Then you identify and quantify your environmental impact, that is known as EIA, Environmental Impact Assessment. So you find out how much impact your project will have on the environment, like manufacturing plants will have lot of impact. They may pollute the air, but they may pollute the water, they may pollute the soil. So all these things will you will find out in EIA. So you will consider that area where you are setting up your plant, what is the physical characteristics of that area, what is the biological characteristics of that area. Then you will develop strategies how you will try to reduce the environmental impact of your project. Like for example, it's mandatory setting up STP. So this reduces the pollution that plants can cause to the environment by leaving untreated sewage into the rivers or into the land, so that is why STPs have become mandatory sewage treatment plants. Then you plan how you are going to obtain the permits and approvals from various agencies. So all this will be done in environmental feasibility. Then economic feasibility is mainly finding the cost benefit, doing an analysis of the cost and benefits you are going to get from your project. So most new adventures, they will do economic feasibility, they will do break even analysis, they will do cost benefit analysis to find out whether their project is economically viable. So there are two techniques used, ERR and SRR, to find out economic feasibility of your project. So economic rate of return is measuring how much impact the business project will have on the economy. So economy will be influenced by business projects by the way of getting revenues from the business project, by conserving the valuable foreign exchange. They get revenue for the government, they generate employment. So a lot of benefits the economy will get from the business project. So this is very important for developing countries and underdeveloped countries. So the two factors considered in ERR is inflow and outflow of the economy, and what are the factors which is covering the major issues of the country. So SRR is the social rate of return. So it is considering the current value of social benefits and the current value of social cost. So SCBA, social cost benefit analysis is done. It calculates the SRR, that is social rate of return. So by considering the financial benefits and financial costs. So when SRR value of a project is high, it means that the social benefits are more than the social cost. So such a project will be accepted even if it has been abandoned due to lack of funds. So these are all the different types of feasibility analysis that is done. Then operational feasibility is finding out whether your organization is able to execute the project successfully. This is the most challenging feasibility analysis to do. So, in this operational feasibility analysis, you will come to know what is the level of management support, what is the support from the human resource, whether the stakeholders are compatible, matching to the project, then the project will be considered operationally feasible. It is also known by another name, that is behavioral feasibility. So you consider the process of your project, that is what is the inputs and outputs of your project. You see whether all the resources are being actively engaged. You develop strategies to make sure your project is implemented successfully. You adapt and review your project from time to time because changes keep happening in the macro environment, in the external environment. So, according to that, the project needs to be adjusted. Suppose there is a recession in the economy, a change has happened in the external environment, then the project costs will have to be readjusted in your project. So such kind of changes, they have to adapt and review and keep doing adjustments in the project. So this is the operational feasibility. So why feasibility analysis is important? It's important because it helps us to understand the demand for a product. It helps us to understand what are the available resources and what are the required resources for the project. So many projects fail because of the lack of capital and because of the lack of skilled labor. So you come to know the market potential for your project. You can understand the market better, you can understand the competition better, and you are able to promote more new products. You can also set a deadline, a timeline for your project so that the project managers can finish the project on time without the risk of delay. So, for all these reasons, feasibility analysis is very important when you are about to implement a project as an entrepreneur.